welcome to PNX News. Now, how did you find playing Rebellion this year?
This was an amazing dream come true, like a punk rock Disney fairyland. Like it's probably the pinnacle of my performance career in punk rock, 25 years, and I get to play Winter Gardens. Whoa, and it blew my mind. My voice was echoing on the stage, and I told the sound guy, turn down the reverb, and the whole band was laughing because the guy's like, there is no reverb. It was just a beautiful hall sound, and I've never heard my voice sound like that. I've never sang in a proper hall.
Yeah, and the sound with the dome ceiling, your voice just came out so strong. It was brilliant.
It blew my mind. I'm flying high. Like,
you should be, because it was a really incredible set.
It's an honor to play this festival, and I couldn't believe when we were invited to play. I was blown away because we usually don't play many big festivals. We're very underground, and we play a lot of, warehouses, house parties, bars, all these weird, crazy punk rock places. So to be invited to something this amazing, the largest punk festival in the Western world, blew my mind.
You deserve it, actually. And your philosophy is very different from a lot of other female-fronted bands, where you're more of a feminist and more of a pro-woman attitude. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely a feminist punk rocker. But I think most punks by nature are feminists, whether they admit it or know it or not. Just sort of because you're into liberation and, being freedom of speech. And I mean, no matter what their politics are, even if they don't know about politics, just the idea of being a performer and a punk rock performer, it's pretty liberating.
That it definitely is.
But my driver, we were joking around about how I like to be anti-sexy, and I was showing the band my 100 mosquito bites on both legs from Parma, Italy. It was disgusting. And then the driver looked at me and said, "Kirsten, singing about anarchism can be sexy."
But it can be, and that's what's brilliant.
Actually, no, he said singing anti-fascista can be sexy, and I was like,
that is even more sexy.
That was
Definitely.
a big compliment. I never thought about that.
But it's true. It's true. I mean, a lot of women will go out very scantily clad, and you come out sexy, but not over the top. And it's much more sexy than...
My naked aggression is a political thing, not a sexy thing. So
exactly.
Yeah, and I'm also one of the few female singers I know that has never really had a stalker. Maybe it's because what we sing about is so, I don't know, political? I'm not sure why. Yeah. But it's very rare for a female singer not to have stalkers.
Exactly, which is a very good thing. I'm glad to hear that. So where are you going from here? Are you still staying in Europe and touring?
No, we just finished our tour, and last night was the end of the last gig of the tour, and it was an amazing high to end the tour on.
Where else were you in Europe?
We did a whirlwind tour from Gießen, Germany, drove through the Alps to Milano, Parma with GBH, and Channel 3 in Bologna. Then we went all the way to Montpellier, France, along the coast, the Mediterranean. And we actually played a hardcore show. In America, that doesn't happen. We're a punk rock band like ours and a hardcore band.
But you've got a flavor of hardcore. And that you don't have the total hardcore feel, but you've got a flavor of the hardcore.
No, they were like the picking up the change hardcore.
Okay.
Like the, jocks, like they work out, and they're all about working out, and, their bodies are their temples, and they're very machismo.
Yeah.
So it was really a riot, but the crowd loved it. The French are more open-minded with their music. They're flexible on one show.
Yeah.
I've noticed. And it used to be more like that maybe at home in the 90s, where, you play a show, Naked Aggression, Seaweed, and Strife. It was used to, but now it's
nice mix,
a lot more separated.
Yeah.
But in France, it still seemed pretty like the audience loved us.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't know who we were, they were so into it.
That's brilliant.
The pit went crazy, and then the hardcore band started, and that's who they were there to see. But it was amazing to play a show like that.
So you've had an excellent tour then.
Oh yeah,
with last night being the highlight. Do you
and
think?
The DIY festival in Paris was incredible. William Piaget, unpleasant meeting the festival. Wow, that was amazing at the Gibbous Club. It's like a gay bar known as a gay dance club in Paris. Incredibly organized, amazing bands.
That sounds fantastic. Just looking at you, I can see that the passion from this tour really is coming through. That's an amazing thing.
Good, because I feel like I'm kind of crashing now physically after like driving 12 hours to Parma over the Alps. You know, like every day was insane driving. And our poor driver, you know, we functioned on like 2 to 4 hours to sleep at night because he had to get up so early to make it to the next gig.
Wow.
It was pretty brutal.
But well worth it.
Oh yeah. And it was also a honeymoon. Our bass player Megan Maddox just got married, and she brought her wife Jenny along so that we had honeymooners in the van.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Her wife ended up being more like the tour manager.
You know, sometimes the spouses do take on the very important roles within the group, and there you go. You had a tour manager and a honeymoon festival.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
And what are your plans for the future when you get back to the States? Anything coming up?
Oh yes, we're playing a festival with One Way System, and I think MDC, tons of bands on October 8th in LA, and then this big festival in San Antonio, Texas called Remember the Punks with the Exploited.
Oh wow.
And it's our first time where we're just gonna fly for one show and fly back.
Oh, that's cool.
We've never been invited to do something like that, so it's kind of gonna be rough because I'm a school teacher, a public school teacher, and so that weekend I'm gonna be exhausted.
The kids, they'll get a lot of exams and yeah. Here, do this, be quiet. I'm just gonna sit in the corner for an hour and you guys do your exam.
No, that's not how inner city schools work. The kids are never quiet.
No, definitely not.
Unless you're a dictator, and I am not a dictator, so they're never quiet.
Well, thank you for taking the time to speak with me. Appreciate it, and have a safe journey back to the States.
Thank you. PNX News.